Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another Prize Picks video for you. We're going to be talking about the NBA slate on November 26th. It's a Sunday. We've got 8 games on board, and yeah, it was actually a pretty difficult board for us to analyze. We had to wait late. It's 3:41 a.m. where I'm at right now. We just got comfortable with the options on the board. Before we get into that, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. So however much you put on first, they will match it. So 25, you get an extra 25, 50, you get an extra 50. But we always recommend just grabbing the whole 100. You get a free 100 to play with. So yeah, use our promo code and they will hook you up with that, doubling your first deposit. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We run 2 shows here. We run our late night show to get the best bargains because a lot of these picks end up changing before game time. They get bumped up a full point, point and a half. Sometimes we see 2 points. Sometimes they're just removed entirely. And we're often really happy that we snagged them as low as they ever were when they're first on the board in the wee hours of the morning. We will not be doing our daily show tomorrow. We stayed up extra late to make sure we could get you 6 solid picks. But because the games start so early on Sundays, we're not going to be doing our daily show on Saturdays and Sundays moving forward. So it's going to be a Monday through Friday thing where we all have plenty of time to actually utilize the picks. So Jordy and I aren't getting you a video, like 30 minutes before the first game starts. And by the time you're watching it, the game's already started. So anyways, we're just going to give you a full show tonight of our 6 favorite picks. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and recap some of the trash we had to deal with on our picks over the last 2 videos, between the late night video and the daily show. So in the first video, I had 2 picks. I had Tyus Jones points assists over. I took the over on 19 and a half points assists. This ended up being just a total blowout. We warned you about a potential blowout. We have seen the Wizards hang on and put up a little bit of a fight and, keep these games not close in the sense that they have a chance to win, but close enough to where you don't see starters getting benched and whatnot. So we were kind of hoping that would be the case. And we've seen Tyus Jones do a lot of his scoring in the first half. So I was really hopeful for that, but he completely let us down. He went for 4 points and 4 assists and ended up, they benched everyone later in the game. And so he didn't even come close to hitting that. That was a complete miss on my part. Trae Young was on his way. He ended up, we took him for points, assists as well at over 37 and a half. And he ended up going for 36 total. And then they benched him in the 4th, right when we needed him to score 1 more bucket. So unfortunate, but I think the play was there. I guess that'll do it for that video. Do you want to jump into yours from that slate, Jordy?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I had taken Jalen Johnson to go over his points, and he had 8 in the first quarter, and he was just on pace to crush it. And then he fell on his wrist and injured it, and he had to leave the game. Hopefully he's okay. But I also took Daniel Gafford in that same terrible game. I needed him for over 7.5 rebounds. He had 3 in the first half, so I felt okay about it. And in the second half, they kept it close the first half. I think it was like a 2-point game going into the half, and then it turned into a 30-point slaughter in the second half, and he only had 1 rebound in the second half, so missed on that one.
Yeah, it happens. We mentioned it in our NFL video where one of our picks got injured. We had we've had several of our picks where players get injured. Now we got Jalen Johnson. Yeah, injured or ejected. But let's jump into, anyways, your homework for this video is try to guess in the comments who's getting injured out of this lineup we have for you tonight.
Yeah.
Someone's going down. But let's recap the daily show. So I had taken Darius Garland for over 25.5 points assists. Guess what happened to Darius Garland? he was playing okay. He could have gotten it done, but he got a neck injury in the first half, and we obviously hope Darius recovers. Neck is kind of a scary place to get injured. We hope he's doing well and gets a full recovery, but he got injured, so he's out of. He obviously didn't hit. We got the reboot on him and on Jalen Johnson. And we also took DeAnthony Melton over 21 PRA. He absolutely just crushed this. Let me see. Sorry, I'm kind of behind here. I got it right here though. Yeah, he went for 26. He looked really good too. He looked like he went for more than that. He was just very active, very involved. And then my last pick was Jonas Valanciunas over 11.5, and this pick just ended up not cutting it. I was pretty high on it, and I liked the matchup, but he didn't get it done. He only went for 9 total. So yeah, those were my 3 from the Daily Show. What were you working with, Jordan?
So my first one, I had taken Denny Advia, and it seems like anytime I take Denny Advia, he doesn't play well.
Yeah.
He came out hot. He had 6 points in I think the first 2 quarters. And then going into the half, I felt good. I was like, hey, I think he can get, the last 6. And then he came out and went 0 for 4 in the second half. And then he just, didn't hit it. He went for 9. We took him for over 11.5. So it was close, but still bad. And then I took Nick Claxton for over his PRA at 22.5. He had 19. I think he just needed more minutes. He went 5 from 7 for the floor, and he had 6 rebounds. So, I think he would have, if he hadn't got just 24 minutes, I think he would have, hit this for us pretty easily. And then we took Embiid, and I could not believe he did not hit this.
I know.
He went for 11, and the game prolonged forever, and he still didn't hit it. And they were just all shooting pretty crazily, and he kept pulling up from the free throw line, and he just wasn't really looking for rebounds. He was looking to score and put that game away. So it just turned into a weird game for them. They were trying to keep Chet from pulling off another miracle. So it was a fun game to watch, but a little frustrating that he didn't grab, at least one more board for the push. But things happen, man. I mean, we've been dealing with a lot of these weird weeks.
Yeah, when I was watching that game, I'm not saying this is what happened, but as soon as he got that 9th assist, I was thinking he is laser focused on either scoring or trying to get that 10th assist for the triple double. I could be completely wrong about that. I'm not saying that's why he missed.
Right.
But the whole time I was I bet you he's thinking about that assist. But and Denny Advia, when you grabbed him, you actually grabbed him at 10.5.
Okay, so he was
even
one bucket
closer.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens. This is gambling. Can do our best to predict outcomes and talk about scenarios, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantees on any of it.
Yeah.
And I like to keep it positive, but we do get a lot of people that will come back after the games are over and come up in our comments and tell us how terrible the picks were. And I'm always just thinking to myself, if you knew these were terrible picks, either fade them or take the under. If you're so confident that they're terrible picks, just take the under and make some money. But that's all I'll say about that. But anyways, we're keeping it positive, and that's just the way we do it. This is sports betting. It's entertainment. We're here to
100%.
show you what we like, and you choose what to do with these picks or not. If you don't like them, just don't play them.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into our picks. My first pick is actually, all of my picks are PRA for this slate. My first one is going to be Mitchell Robinson. I like him to go over 16.5, and random, but I thought it was kind of interesting. His points and rebounds are also at 16.5. I don't know why you would take points and rebounds over the points, rebounds, and assists over 16.5. So we're going to go points, rebounds, and assists, even though he averages 1 a game or something like that. It's not too crazy, but might as well take it if it's the same line. Let's start with the over-under on this game. We got the Suns and the Knicks, which I can't wait to watch this game. You know, I hope this play cashes, but outside of winning or losing on prize picks, like I'm just excited to watch this game. We get a 220 over-under with the Knicks favored by 3.5, which I think that's kind of wild. I think the Suns are going to take care of business personally, but we'll see. I know I'm biased because that's my team, Phoenix, but and all that being said, though, we have Eubanks, the backup center for the Suns, is questionable. We've got KD, who's likely to miss. So maybe that's what they're thinking by favoring the Knicks, and it is in New York. So, yeah, but the bottom line is that we shouldn't have to worry about a blowout with this game. Again, 220 over under, 3.5 points favored to the Knicks. And if we look at what Mitchell Robinson's been doing, over the last 5 games, he's averaging about 28 minutes, 6.2 points, and rebounds. And there we are. So, yeah, much less than 1 assist a game. I was wrong about that. He's doing even worse than that. But still, it's the same for the PRA as it is the PR. So I'm going to take the PRA. But the points here, yeah, he doesn't always go crazy with scoring. But his last game, he got in foul trouble pretty early on, and we had to watch Hartenstein do his thing, which was kind of frustrating. But yeah, like, so he only played 20 minutes in his last game, so he's typically getting that's kind of lowering that average. He's typically over 30 minutes here. So I bet you his average is closer to like 30, 31 minutes a game. But I do like the matchup. Let's look at that. So the Suns are giving up on average just under 23 points a game to centers and 12.6 rebounds a game and 4 assists a game, which I don't think is totally relevant for this anyways. But if you look at the points and the rebounds, we should have no problem going over this line at 16.5. And the odds on this are actually pretty juiced. We've got a minus 130 for this to go over, which is beautiful. Even though, you know, sometimes the odds are just more of a distraction than anything. But I like Mitchell Robinson to go over on that. And then my next is going to be KCP to go over 18.5. He's been really like having some little spike games here. And I expect him to have another one against the Spurs. We still have no Jamal Murray, so I think the minutes will be there. And if we look what he's been doing, let me just let's do his last 3 games. If we look at his last 3 games here, he's averaging 36 minutes a game, 16.7 points, 3 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. So he should have no trouble going over this. And the matchup's looking good too. The Spurs are allowing to point guards 27.4 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, and 8.9 assists. So this is looking really good for him. Since he's getting a little bit of all of that, I like him to be able to go over in a game where he's probably going to get good minutes. Let's look at the over-under on that because there probably is a little bit of blowout potential. Yeah, there is. It's actually a decent amount of blowout potential. So you want to be careful of that. But I still think that if they blow out the Spurs, I think he hits this personally. We got a 228 over-under, 228.5 over-under with the Nuggets favored by 11.5 points. So we have seen the Spurs like do similar to what we were talking about with the Wizards, where they can stay in these games. And the Spurs are a little bit hard to gauge right now. But I still think, you know, I think Denver gets this done. Maybe they do end up winning by around, 12 to 15 points. But I don't know if it's so bad that we end up seeing starters getting benched in the fourth quarter and only playing 3 quarters type of a thing. So I think between the matchup and between what he's been doing and the fact that they'll need him for more minutes without Jamal Murray, I like him to go over on that. Then my last one, I'm going to go back to Trae Young here because he was like just killing it. He has been killing it. If you look at that last 3 games here, 47, 56, and 42. Again, we're taking the PRA for over 37.5. Last time we just took his points assists, but and he should have cashed that. If it wouldn't have been such a huge blowout in the second half, he would have totally cashed that. I missed it by 2. But this 42 against the Wizards was with him sitting in the 4th. So he's been doing this pretty regularly. He's just been incredible lately. Over his last 5 games, we got 36 minutes on average. And it should be even higher than that. When he got pulled from that Washington game, he's typically playing, like, his lowest game before that is 34 minutes, but he's usually 37, 39, 40. He's staying on the floor. But he's averaging 28.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 11.4 assists a game. And the last 2 games, he's actually been pulling down more boards. We got 4 against Brooklyn, and we've got 6 against Washington, even in those 3 quarters. So that's kind of a little bit skewed on the 2.8. I think he could go for 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 rebounds. We'll see. It is a tough matchup. Let's look at the over-under on this one. So we got closer on this one. So we got a 236 over-under, nice high-scoring game. And Boston is favored by 7.5 points. So I think that with them, I don't think this gets it to be such a blowout where the Hawks are like down by so much that they're benching anybody. But I do think that it'll be within reach to where he probably plays just a full game. But if you look at what the Celtics are allowing to point guards, 23.6 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and 7.1 assists. So they're giving up a lot of assists and a lot of points. And they're kind of drifting into that range for a point guard to average almost 7 rebounds. That's kind of a lot of rebounds too for a point guard. So with the way he's been playing and with the way he's been grabbing more boards the last few games, I like him to have a big game. I like him to go over this PRA. And Vegas has this juiced pretty well as well at minus 120. So I think he's just hot right now. I think he's going to keep it going. And all that scoring that we usually get from Jalen Johnson is probably he's going to have to pick up some of that slack too. So I like these 3 to go over. So what do you got for us, Jordy?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I feel like the only like weird blowout situations we've seen where people are getting sat is like tonight in that weird Pacers game, or was it the Jazz actually, where they sat.
The Pacers. Oh yeah, that was a weird game.
But like that was just like the coach being mad, I think. But anyway,
that was the most annoying.
Oh yeah,
benching of the season so far, because that didn't need to happen. But anyways, keep
ruined
going.
all of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna be taking a PRA myself. I'm gonna go with Karl Anthony Towns in this matchup here. His PRA is set at 35.5, and he's averaging 37.2 over the last 5 games. But he's gone over this 6 out of the last 10 games. If we look at what he's averaging in the last 10 games, he's averaging right around 38 PRA a game. And if we look at what Memphis, which is who they're going up against in this matchup, first of all, the game line on this is set at 217 with a 7-point favorite to Minnesota. So not really crazy blowout potential there. I don't really think you have to worry about that with Memphis. They're pretty tough. I think they'll keep this game kind of close. But if I know he plays power forward, but he is a big, so I like to look at power forward / center when it comes to guys like this. So for power forward, which is what he's listed as, they give up 24 points, 10 rebounds, and almost 4 assists. So right around 37. So that's right where we need it. And then for center, it's pretty much the same thing. I was looking at it. I think it's like a point lower or higher, one of the two. But yeah, it's right around the same. It's about a point lower. So, it's a pretty good matchup for him. With him going 6 out of 10, I like it. It's over 50%. And, he's been scoring the ball at will. So I like him to go over this. It's a minus 130 to go over. So we got the juice there. And MGM actually has it at a minus 135. And then for my next pick, I'm going to be going with a points and rebounds prop here. I'm going to go with Mark Williams in this game. He's gone over this in 7 out of the last 10 of his games. And I know Orlando's kind of tough on defense right now. The game line's set at 227.5 with Orlando being only a 7-point favorite. So, I don't think we have much of a blowout, but it could. I mean, it is Charlotte. Sometimes they go cold. But I think this game's going to be pretty close and competitive. He's a minus 125 with DraftKings and MGM to go over this. So I think this is pretty safe with how he's been rebounding and scoring. I mean, his scoring's okay, but his rebounding, I think he put up like 14 boards in the last game. So he's been a monster on the glass. And then for my last pick, it's going to be another PRA prop. I'm going to go with my man Scotty Barnes. I know he burned us by 1 PRA last time, but this matchup's a lot better. He's also gone over this in 7 out of the last 10 games. He's averaging 34.1 PRA in the last 10 games. And, the last game, the reason he missed the last game was because OG Anunoby scored almost 30 points. So he was just dishing the ball to him, and OG was scoring it like crazy. So he got a lot of assists last game. But I think in this matchup, if you look at what Cleveland is giving up to small forwards, which is what he's playing, let's go look. So Cleveland's giving up 23 points, 8 rebounds, and almost 4 assists. So this is super juicy. This matchup's, sitting pretty nice for us. And with him going over this so much, I like this. And he's a big physical dude, and he likes to get to the basket. So I think he's going to be able to hit this for us. It's a minus 130 also to go over. So I'm feeling this pick. The game line on this one's 218 with only a 1.5 point spread in favor to Cleveland. So no blowout potential in this game unless something crazy happens. This is going to be a competitive game between these two guys. And one more note about Mark Williams, there's still no Nick Richardson. So no worry about his timeshare. He's been playing about over 30 minutes a game since Nick Richardson's had a concussion. So that's what I'm feeling this week, man, or for this game. Sorry.
No, it's all good. That's the 6 we've got. You use them however you feel fit. You don't have to go all 6. If any of them don't hit, don't feel like you got to come tell us how bad we did on picking these out. Instead, go check out Skywalker DFS. He says a little prayer at the end of his videos, and he'll help you get into that, state of gratitude. And yeah, man, but the most important thing is just enjoy yourself on a Sunday, kick back, hang with family, hang with friends, and enjoy basketball,
Yeah.
We hope you guys have a great Sunday, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Good luck, boys.